How can you not do a review of Fury without rocking the army green? Well, I guess I'm gonna have to take this off because this kind of feels clunky. Hello everyone, I'm Joe, and today I'm here to talk about Fury. Fury is the latest World War II movie directed and written by David Ayer, who brought us Training Day, End of Watch, and most recently Sabotage, which I've only seen a part of, but whatever. The story is pretty basic. It's basically the story of War Daddy, or a sergeant in the U.S. Army Tank Corps, played by Brad Pitt, who goes on a mission behind enemy lines to secure a crossroad within the heart of the Rhineland in West Germany, and secure the Allied forces against a group of German soldiers who are members of the SS. And all the while they have to deal with a new recruit, Norman Ellison, played by Logan Lerman, who's only been in the army for about 8 weeks. He has to adjust to being in combat, though he's never seen a day of combat in his life. For anyone who doesn't know me, I'm really into World War II, especially the European side of World War II, and I like me a good World War II movie. I grew up watching them, stuff like Saving Private Ryan, Band of Brothers, even though it's a miniseries, Big Red One, seen a little bit of Dirty Dozen, Flags of Our Fathers, and Letters from Iwo Jima I thought were really good too. World War II movies, like the comic book movie genre, they're a big deal to me. I had a lot of anticipation with this movie because it was David Ayer who did End of Watch, one of the best movies of 2012 in my opinion, and we hadn't seen a good World War II movie in a while. I mean, some people will make an argument for Inglourious Basterds, which I actually thought was really good, but I wouldn't say it's a war movie. It's a war-related movie. The last couple of war movies we've had since 2006 or 2007, depending on how you look at it, haven't been really that good though. Most recently was Monuments Men, which I thought was a really interesting idea. It kind of fell on its butt essentially. Then a couple of years before that you had Red Tails, which I admire the idea behind it, but it didn't fully work. But in any case, I still had a lot of hope for this one, and after seeing it, there are some flaws here and there, but there's also greatness within. First of all, what's great about Fury? The actors deliver 100%. Brad Pitt, he's Brad Pitt. What else can I say? That being said, he's excellent. And you get the sense that his character is someone who's very worn out by all the stuff that he's seen in Europe. Going as far as from Africa to Sicily to France, Belgium, and in Germany. Because he tells Logan Lerman in the movie, I started out this war killing Germans in Africa. Now I'm killing them in Germany. And it goes the same thing with the rest of his crew. You can tell that they're really burnt out because they've seen so much. These guys are pretty battle-hardened, and they're just like, they just don't really care anymore. Michael Pena is really good. Shia LaBeouf, he was the one actor in this movie that I was worried about because, look, we all know what Shia LaBeouf has been doing the last couple of years. He's kind of going crazy. But in this movie, he actually did not annoy me. I was really, really relieved. He plays a very religious person, and yeah, that's kind of a cliche. I liked it. I thought it was done really well, and he really nails it 100% in this movie. John Bernthal is really good, but I gotta say, I did not like his character at all. One particular scene, I don't want to go into too much detail, but I literally just muttered to myself, you asshole. Logan Lerman, as the new recruit, Norman, he is excellent, and it's cool to see his character change from a very nervous and shaky recruit into a battle-hardened combat soldier. We, as the audience, are experiencing this through his eyes because he doesn't want to kill anyone. But then Brad Pitt's character, War Dad, kind of shakes him into it and says, look, you're in a war, you have to kill the enemy before they kill you. What are you expecting? And another thing that really surprised me was the action sequences. The action in this movie. Man, I don't want to sound like I'm exaggerating anything, but the action has you on the edge of your seat. It harkens back to Saving Private Ryan action. One sequence in particular, I'm not going to really go into too much detail, but it involves them in a Sherman tank fighting off a German Tiger tank. My mouth was hanging. I was just sitting there going like this. I've never seen a tank sequence like that in any war movie, or any movie, essentially. The music by Stephen Price is really good, and it does play during the battle scenes, and that's another thing that kind of bugs me about war movies. I don't really like it when they play music during a battle scene because a lot of the times it comes off as like, yeah, we're the best, we're number one. It comes off as just too cheesy and too forceful, like it tries to get you to clap your hands. But this I thought was acceptable because the music choices were appropriate. It was meant to put you on the edge of your seat and feel the tension of the situation that they were in. And there's also a nice little scene in here where they stop at this German village where Norman essentially befriends a German girl. Again, that's kind of a cliche, but it didn't really bother me too much personally. It was a nice attempt to give the film a little bit of humanity. But that comes into one of my flaws with the movie. The movie does kind of slow down at that point. I was kind of tapping my foot going, okay, can we get the story going a bit, please? And another thing that kind of bugged me was the color palette. I know this is a war movie, and essentially war is a bit bleak. I've never been in combat, so I can't tell you what it's like, but war is a horrible thing. I think we can all agree on that. And it does manage to get its tone across very well, but there are a couple of times where I went, you know, you could brighten up the colors a little bit here. This is not too bad. But that's just a nitpick, really. Oh, and I have to mention, the violence. The violence. I haven't seen all of David Ayer's movies. Please don't hit me. I haven't seen Training Day yet, and don't you spoil it for me. Don't you spoil it. But I have seen End of Watch, and I've seen Street Kings. Street Kings I thought was okay. But End of Watch has got some really gruesome stuff, and there's a scene in here where I actually felt kind of sick. Ugh. So anyone who has a weak stomach, just be prepared. That's all I'm going to say. Overall, Fury is not as good as Private Ryan. I know that's not a fair comparison right there, because Private Ryan is arguably the best war movie that's ever been made. And that's a credit to Steven Spielberg, which this movie really tributes a lot with showing the horrors of war. But this is one of the best World War II flicks I've seen in a long time. And I'm really glad to say that, because as someone who's a history buff, someone who's really interested in World War II, I'm really glad to see that World War II movies are starting to make a comeback, hopefully. So anyone who's interested in this, go check it out. I think you're going to like this. For anyone who's watching, comment below, tell me what you think of Fury, and what's your favorite World War II movie, or favorite war movie? I know a lot of you are probably going to say Saving Private Ryan. That's my personal favorite, along with this, Band of Brothers. But if you got some others, please let me know. And until next time,